Welcome back. So, as we were discussing about the chemical kinetics chapter, so let's continue our discussion on the integrated loss equation. Today we will talk about the first order kinetics reaction. Okay, and this first order kinetics means definitely my order of the reaction is 1. Let's consider a reaction where A is small is the stoichiometry and A is your reactant and which gives you the product. Okay, this is simple stoichiometry reaction. Okay, now what will be the rate of this reaction if I talk about? The rate is basically V, which is minus d1 by A dA by dt. Okay, minus sign is due to the reactant is getting depleted thoroughly. So equal to rate constant K into concentration of A, because my order is 1. Okay, now this reaction is very important because why? Because this basically determines the rate of the reaction, and if I do integrate this differential equation, first order differential equation, what I will end up with? I will end up with the integrated form of this of any first order reaction, and that will help me to understand the first order kinetics of any first order reactions, the kinetics of the first order reaction. Okay, now if I integrate this, let's say your product is your what is that called, reactant having concentration, initial concentration is A0. Okay, now after time t the concentration is, let's say, 80. Now basically it is going from A0 to 80. So I have a range. So I know, and this is the concentration of A. And what about the time? The time is going from 0 to t. Now you have there are one differential equation, two differential form, and you have two ranges. So I can easily integrate now. Now if I integrate, now before doing that, let's do some. So what is this? Minus dA by dt is equal to what I can write? K into A into concentration of A. Now this 2 is constant, so we can say this is Ka into K is equal to K into A. Just we are saying this one. Okay, see. Okay, acha. Now or what we can do now? Minus dA by A is equal to Ka into dt. K into dt, right? Now if I integrating both sides with respect to limit, so what is the time limit? 0 to t. So 0 to t and A0 to 80. A0 to 80. If I integrate this, what I will get? Or, so this is what? Now integration dx by x is basically ln x. So what is this? ln A concentration is A0 to 80, which is equal to Ka into t minus 0. Okay, or what we can write? ln 80 minus ln A0. Okay, which is equal to Ka into t. Now this equation, what I can do with this equation? This equation can be modified. This is one form of the equation. Okay, I just keeping this. Just let me do some little modification of this equation, and I will come again to this equation. Okay, let's keep this. Let's give that equation number 1. Okay, now what can I do from here? Here I can take this ln 80 by A0, which is equal to Ka into t. I can easily write. Or ln, the opposite is what? Okay, where is the minus sign should be there. Okay, minus kt minus. Okay, so 80 is basically e to the power minus K into t into A0. Okay, now this equation is another important equation derived from the first order kinetics. Now you can see this is an exponential equation. Exponential equation. Now what is the interesting thing here? Interesting thing is that the ratio of the concentrations, the ratio of the concentrations of the reactant, the ratio of the concentration of the reactant is basically nothing but an exponential factor. And if I plot this, okay, let's come to this one. If I plot this, so what I will get the graph exponential decay. Why? Because if I plot, let's say if I am plotting this part, if I plot this equation, okay, so what I am getting, AT is equal to A0 into exponential of minus Ka into T. Now if I plot the concentration of A with respect to time, what I will get, it will start from a value A0. It will start when t is equal to 0, e to the power 0 is 1. So then here AT is equal to A0. So it will start from value A0. Then what will happen? There will be an exponential decay. And we know this is an exponential graph is an asymptotic graph. Asymptotic graph. And asymptotic graph is what? Asymptotic graph ASY. Asymptotic graph. Then asymptotic graph, the nature of the asymptotic graph, it never ends. So what we can conclude from here? We can conclude that first order reaction never undergoes completion. The first order reaction never undergoes completion. This is a very important statement from this part, what we can say. Number one. Okay. And other thing what we can calculate from here? We can calculate from here, let's say, we can calculate, now what is the example? Example is basically radioactive reaction. The radioactive reactions, or I would say radioactive processes are a very good first example of a first order reaction. Okay. Now, but this is not the working formula we can use, right? So what we will use? Okay. So what was our working formula? ln AT is equal to ln AT minus ln A0 is equal to minus your KAT. Correct? Okay. Or what we can write, ln AT is equal to ln A0 minus Ka into T. Okay. Now just little bit rearrangement. Ln AT is equal to minus Ka into T plus ln A0. Now if you know, let's say for a reaction, what is this kind? What is if I want to plot ln AT versus T, this will give you y is equal to mx plus c kind of graph. Okay. Now if I want to do it, ln AT divided ln AT I am plotting in a set time. So what is this will be? This will be a minus mx, so slope will be like this. Okay. Acha. So this value is basically your ln A0. ln A0. This value is ln A0. Okay. And what about this one? The slope basically will give you Ka. Slope will give you the rate constant. Okay. So that we can calculate from this. So we have to use, so this is the working method we use for the calculation of a first order kinetics. Okay. Now this first order reaction has a very, I would say, a beautiful means you can conclude many beautiful things, beautiful points from this first order reaction. Okay. What we can do? Okay. Let's, if I plot this one, so this was the graph. So A, concentration of A. Now this is concentration A0. Now there will be one concentration at the point where you will get your half life. Okay. Now T half is called half life. T half is called half life, where your concentration AT, concentration AT half, concentration at T half is basically your A0 by 2. Okay. Now if I substitute this value here, then what I will get? Okay, then what I will get? I will get A0 by 2 is equal to A0 into e to the power minus Ka by T. Okay, अच्छा. Or okay, or half is equal to e to the power minus Ka by T. Now if I reverse this, so you will get e to the power Ka by T is equal to 2, or this is basically T half. I can write that name T half, and T half is basically ln2 divided by Ka. Okay. Now what is the important thing here? The half life is basically independent of concentration of the initial concentration. So what is the point here? The half life of a reaction, the half life of a first order reaction is independent of the concentration of the reactant. This is a very important point you all need to remember. Okay, so what is a unit? So unit of rate constant here. What is the unit of rate constant? Here is basically your Ka is equal to ln2 by T half. So this is time. So what will be the unit? Unit will be second inverse, time inverse. Basically it will be time inverse. Okay, acha. So this is what we use for the calculation of the first order reaction. Okay. Now let me give you some data from here. Means let's do one calculation. Okay, and this calculation I will tell you how to determine the what is that called? How to determine the rate constant of the first order reaction. Okay, acha. Now what I will do here, definitely here I will use that working formula. This is very obvious. It's very obvious that I will use the working formula as a. Okay, so let's little bit modify that working formula here. So what was that? At ln AT is equal to ln A0 minus Ka into T. Okay, or what I can do, ln AT by A0, if I take here, is equal to minus of Ka into T. Achha. Now if I plot ln AT versus A0, so what is this kind of? This is y is equal to minus of mx kind of graph. So basically it is a decay graph, a straight line. Time with respect to, I am plotting AT by A0, ln AT by A0. So what I will get? I will get a decreasing part, and this will give me the Ka. Now let's take a reaction example. Let's take an example. Okay. Now there is a particular reaction where it was found that the concentration of N2O5, nitrogen pentoxide, okay, this nitrogen pentoxide in liquid bromine, okay, it was found this undergoes a degradation, means degradation reaction. degradation reaction. Okay, degradation reaction. Okay, and it is found the data. Let me draw the data here. It is found the data, time, and your concentration of N2O5. Time and concentration of N2O5. Time is what? At 0 seconds. Time is at seconds, and your concentration is in mole decimeter minus 3. Okay. At 0, they measured at 200. They have measured at 400, and they have measured at 600. Okay, and now what is the concentration of N2O5 here? The concentration of N2O5s are 0. At initial concentration 110. Okay, then 0.073, 0.048, and 0.032. Okay, now you know this all the concentration. So this is your A0. This is your A0, and this is A200, this is A400, this is A600. Okay. Now what I will do here? Here, this thing, just basically I will calculate this AT by A0 value, because this is my Y. I will try to calculate this AT by A0 value. Okay, let's do that. So what will be my AT by A0? AT by A0 in first case, it will be first value. So I will get here 3 points. This by this by this, and this by this. So 0.073 divided by 0.110. First value. Second value will be, so this is first point. Second point 0.048 divided by 0.110. And the third point 0.032 divided by 0.110. Okay, now the value is here AT by A0. AT by A0, it is 0.073 divided by 0.110. So it is coming 0.663. This is coming 0.436, and this is coming 0.291. Okay. Achha, now this AT by A0 is done. Now next what you will do? You will plot the ln, calculate the ln AT by A0. ln AT by A0. Now what will be the value here? ln of this quantity will give you minus 0.411. This will give you minus 0.830, and this will give you minus 1.234. Now you can see easily that the data is basically decreasing. That means it is a correct. So what we are doing is correct. This data is basically decreasing towards a more negative values. Okay. Now we have to determine this Ka. Now what is this Ka? Ka is nothing but the slope. Now how the slope of a straight line is determined? Y2 minus Y1 divided by X2 minus X1. So this is nothing but my Ka. Okay. So what will be the value of Ka then? Y2. Let's take two consecutive points. These two points. So what is the value of Y2? Minus 1.234 minus plus 0.830. And what are the time of this part? This is your X2 is 400 and minus 200. Okay. Now if you calculate this value, you will get minus 2.02 into 10 to the power minus 3. 2.02 into 10 to the power minus 3. So basically, since it's a negative slope, so your Ka will be the positive magnitude, that is 2.02 into 10 to the power minus 3, and what will be the unit? Second inverse. Now this way, this is the methods or the technique. So you can calculate the rate constant of a first order reaction. So what I did here, first I make a table. I would recommend you, when you will target the numerical problems in this rate constant determination, definitely you will first make a table like that. Then after this making this table, you have to calculate the corresponding x-axis and the corresponding y-axis. Okay. Now when you determine the y-axis, when an x-axis you determine, then after that what do you require? Here the rate constant is basically nothing but given by the slope. Okay. So the slope is, so you determine the slope from the normal straight line formula to some just normal mathematics here. So you calculate it from the slope. Like remember when we calculated the order and the rate constant of a reaction for a general reaction rate determination, like this, all methods are very simple. But the point is here is that you have to make out a working formula from the integrated rate equation so that you can easily work out in the actual problems, actual theoretical, your experimental problems, you can determine the rate. Okay. Now this is the method. Now before going to this further going, let me give you one very important concept here. Okay, one very important concept here. What is the concept? The concept is basically, let's say you have a reaction. Let's say you have a reaction where you have A1 plus A2 plus A3 plus dot will gives you products. Okay, so your multi reagent reaction, there are more than one reagents are there in the reaction. Okay, now in this reaction what you will get here, one beautiful thing is that the rates can be, you can determine the rate with respect to any of the reactant, any of the reactants. Okay. Now if I want to calculate the rate of the reaction is basically rate constant multiplied by concentration of A1 to the power A1. Okay, sorry, multiplied by concentration of A1. Okay, multiplied by concentration of A2 dot concentration of An. Now I am assuming that the reaction is first order with respect to all the reactants. With respect to all the reactants, the reaction is first order with respect to all the reactants. Okay. Now let's say, and what have we looked? So if say is the multiplication, so K into pi. For adding all the substances, n substances, you require summation, and for multiplying all the substances you require this pi notation AI. This is concentration of the ith component and multiply. Now if I assume that for any ith component, okay, for any ith component, for any component I have talked about, any component, your A1, let's say first component A1, okay, A1 is very lesser than the ith component, which is not equal to 1. Means any component other than A1 having very high concentration compared to the A1. So what we can do in this case, we can, so, and this order has to be roughly, which from the all the calculated magnitude experimental calculations or the several experimental done on this kind of theory. So it has been found roughly it has to be more than 10 times. It has to be more than 10 times larger. Then we can use this condition, which I am going to say in few minutes. So roughly it has to be more than 10 times. Okay, this has to be more than 10 times. Okay. Now, so what we can say? So definitely if heat has a high concentration, so we can assume that during reaction it remains unchanged. Okay, during the reaction of the chemical process, this remains unchanged. This we can assume, correct? Okay, now if this is the case, so then we can write the rate of the reaction is basically K into A1 pi I not equal to 1 AI, all the components, right? So basically I am separating out this A1 from this part. So this, now since this is not changed, the higher the other rest of the concentration of the reactants are not changing through the time. So we can say that this is a constant, and definitely this is also a constant. So we can say this is a constant quantity, and we can say that K into pi I not equal to 1 this case. So this will be equal to this will be constant, and let's say I am making this constant name K prime. I am naming the constant as K prime. So this is constant basically. So we can write this is K prime multiplied by concentration of A1. Okay. Now what is happening here? Here, although the overall order of the reaction will be his n, right? Because there are n components. So overall order of the reaction is basically n. But the condition what we have used here, it appears to that the reaction is now changed to 1. The order of the reaction is changed to 1. Now the new order of the reaction is 1. So these kind of reactions are called pseudo first order reaction. It is not a first order reaction, but it appears to be as a first order reaction. So it is called pseudo first order reaction. It is called pseudo first order reaction. Okay. Now it is the overall reaction order of the reaction is not 1, but it appears to be 1. Okay, and indeed you can use the first order kinetics here, but what is the condition? This condition has to be there. So this is called the pseudo first order reaction. Okay, now example, you can look at the example, the ester hydrolysis acid catalyzed. So this ester hydrolysis acid catalyzed, it is assumed that in presence of acid and ester it is a second order, it follows, means more than one order kinetics, but it follows first order kinetics. So it is an example of the pseudo first order reaction. Okay, Achha. So this is all from your first order kinetics and the pseudo first order kinetics. Now assuming that this part, that all the concentrations that compared to one component, all the concentration having more large concentration compared to one component. Okay, this is a very big assumptions. Okay, and this big assumption, so if you have two components also, then the order will increase, then it will be A1 into A2 maybe. Now you can basically, if you have now n components of a reaction is not possible definitely, you can get, let's say, 3 components, A plus B plus C. Now in the rate, what you will get? Rate constant A into B into C. Now in this case, if B and C concentration remain unchanged, or it has high amount of concentration, and that almost we can assume that it can remain unchanged during the time interval, so we can say that only the rate of the reaction is basically rate constant into multiplied by concentration of A. That means it was initially thought that it is a third order reaction, but it is basically a first order reaction. Okay, so this kind of reactions it's not a first order reaction, but it appears to be a first order reaction. So this is called pseudo first order reaction. Okay. So next we will talk about more about the now the integrated rate equation is is done in this part. Next part we will talk about the complex reactions, and then we will talk about the kinetics, the energetics of the rate of energetics of a reaction, and then this chapter will